20 celebrities who refused to meet Queen Camilla, and one of them stood up in the Australian Parliament and screamed directly at Charles and Camilla, "You are not my king! You committed genocide!" When asked if she regretted it, she said she'd do it again. I'm revealing all 20 snubs, from music legends who rejected the coronation to Diana's inner circle, who still refuse to acknowledge her. What word did Diana's own son use to describe Camilla on international television? A word that can never be unsaid. And what's the one thing Camilla can never have, no matter how many crowns she wears? Diana had it. The world gave it to her. If you've spent 30 years watching Camilla take everything Diana should have had, this is the video you've been waiting for. 20 snubs. Let's start with the Coronation concert disaster. Category 1. Coronation concert refusals. The palace asked. They all said no. Number 1. Taylor Swift declined the coronation. The biggest pop star on the planet. The Eras Tour breaking records across the globe. Taylor Swift, the one name that would have given the coronation concert instant global credibility with younger audiences. She said no. Omid Scobie confirmed it in his book Endgame. Taylor Swift declined the invitation to perform at King Charles's coronation concert. She was on her Eras Tour in Nashville the same weekend, May 6th, 2023. Scobie wrote that finding entertainment for the coronation proved a serious challenge for palace organizers. The list of acts who declined was embarrassingly long. Taylor Swift was at the very top of that list. The woman who sells out stadiums in minutes, who commands the attention of hundreds of millions of fans worldwide, couldn't find time for the new King and Queen of England. But snub number 2 didn't just decline politely. She made international headlines. Number 2, Senator Lydia Thorpe. "You are not my king." This is the snub that went viral around the world. October 21st, 2024, King Charles and Queen Camilla visiting Parliament House in Canberra, Australia. A formal state occasion. Everything choreographed perfectly. Security on high alert. Indigenous Australian Senator Lydia Thorpe stood up and confronted them directly. No warning, no script anyone could stop. "You are not our king. You are not sovereign. You committed genocide against our people. Give us our land back. Give us what you stole from us, our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people. You destroyed our land. Give us a treaty." She walked toward them as she shouted. Security rushed to intercept her. Charles and Camilla sat frozen. The Senate voted 46, 12 to censure her afterward. Her response? "I'll do it again." That's not a scheduling conflict. That's not a polite "no thank you." That's a woman looking at the King and Queen of England and saying, "You don't deserve my respect. You don't deserve anyone's respect." And she wasn't alone, because Diana's best friend in the celebrity world had something to say too. Number 3, Elton John. Diana's best friend said no. This is the snub that should have hurt Camilla most of all, the one that proved loyalty outlasts everything. Elton John, Diana's closest friend in the celebrity world, the man who performed Candle in the Wind at her funeral while 2 billion people around the globe watched and wept together. The most emotional performance in funeral history, the song that became the best-selling single of all time, the voice that said goodbye to the princess the world loved. He said no to the coronation concert. Rolling Stone confirmed it. His team cited scheduling conflicts, European tour dates in Germany, but social media users pointed out what everyone was already thinking. It would be deeply strange for Elton to celebrate her ex-husband and his former mistress's big day. Think about what that refusal really means. The man who held Diana's hand through her darkest and most isolated moments. The man who sang her to rest while the whole world mourned. The man who knew exactly what Charles and Camilla did to her behind closed doors. The man who witnessed her pain firsthand. He couldn't bring himself to celebrate their crowning moment. He couldn't stand on that stage and pretend everything was fine. He couldn't betray Diana's memory that way. Here's the telling detail. Elton performed at Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee in 2022. He said yes to Elizabeth without hesitation. He said no to Charles and Camilla, Diana's best friend, still loyal after all these years, still remembering, still refusing. Number 4. Adele. Team Harry. Adele, the voice of a generation, multiple Grammy winner, the biggest British female singer of her era, the obvious choice for any royal celebration. She declined the Coronation concert. Mail Online reported she was too busy. But here's the telling detail that matters more than any excuse. When Vogue asked Adele in October 2021 to choose between Prince Harry and Prince William, she chose Harry, Diana's rebellious son, the one who wrote a book calling Camilla the villain. Some silences speak louder than words. Adele's silence screamed. Number 5. Harry Styles. No comment. Harry Styles declined the Coronation concert. When his team was asked why, they provided no comment. No explanation, no excuse, no apology, just silence. He also declined Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee in 2022, a pattern forming. One of Britain's biggest pop stars repeatedly refusing to show up for royal events. His team's no comment said everything words couldn't. Number 6. Ed Sheeran. Houston over the Coronation. King Charles was very keen to have Ed Sheeran perform, Britain's most successful current male artist, a global superstar who would have packed the concert with credibility. Ed Sheeran declined. He was too busy preparing for a gig in Houston, Texas. Houston, over the coronation of the King and Queen of England. A show in Texas was more important than celebrating the British monarchy. That's not a scheduling conflict. That's a statement. Number 7. The Spice Girls. Reunion rejected. The biggest British girl group of all time. A reunion at the Coronation would have been a cultural moment, a celebration of British pop at its peak. All 5 Spice Girls said no. Sources said they couldn't get together to rehearse, but the irony wasn't lost on anyone. In 1997, Mel B and Jerry famously kissed then Prince Charles on the cheek at a charity dinner. That was when Diana was still alive. That was before everything that happened. Now, they won't even show up. 7 snubs down, but we're getting closer to the word Diana's own son used on international television, the word that can never be unsaid. First, the celebrities who didn't just say no to invitations. They returned their honors, sent them back, said publicly, "I don't want anything from you." Category 2. Royal honors refused or returned, the ultimate rejection. I don't want your medal. I don't want your title. I don't want anything from you. Number 8. Alan Cumming returned his OBE. Scottish actor Alan Cumming didn't just decline an honor. He returned one he already had. January 2023, shortly after Queen Elizabeth's death. Right as Charles and Camilla were ascending to power, Alan Cumming sent his OBE back to the palace. His statement was devastating. The Queen's death and the ensuing conversations about the role of monarchy, and especially the way the British Empire profited at the expense and death of indigenous peoples across the world, really opened my eyes. He called it the toxicity of empire, returned it during their reign, a direct public rejection. Number 9. David Bowie refused twice. David Bowie didn't just refuse once, he refused twice. A CBE in 2000, a knighthood in 2003, both rejected. His statement, "I would never have any intention of accepting anything like that. I seriously don't know what it's for. It's not what I spent my life working for." Bowie saw through it, the honors, the titles, the ceremonies. Meaningless to someone who created actual art, actual culture, actual legacy that would outlive any monarchy. Number 10. John Lennon returned it in protest, 1969. John Lennon returned his MBE to the Queen, his letter to Her Majesty. "Your Majesty, I am returning this MBE in protest against Britain's involvement in the Nigeria-Biafra thing, against our support of America in Vietnam, and against cold turkey slipping down the charts." Classic Lennon, politics and humor in one devastating package. He returned it and never looked back. Halfway through now, and Diana's son is coming. The word he used, the testimony that can never be erased. Category 3. Diana's inner circle, still loyal. The people who actually knew Diana. The people who loved her. The people who will never forget what they witnessed. Number 11. Prince Harry, the villain. Here it is, the word I promised, the word that can never be unsaid, the word that echoes through history. Prince Harry sat across from Oprah Winfrey and Anderson Cooper. Millions watching live around the world, cameras recording every word, and he called Camilla the villain, Diana's youngest son, looking into a camera, calling his stepmother a villain, knowing it would become a headline, knowing it would be quoted forever, saying it anyway. He said she was dangerous, his exact word. He said she needed to rehabilitate her image and was willing to sacrifice him and William to do it. He described bodies left in the street because of her PR campaign. Innocent people thrown under the bus so Camilla could look better in the press. Think about what it takes for a son to say that about his stepmother on international television. The pain behind those words, the anger built up over decades, the betrayal that never healed. Diana's youngest son, looking into a camera, telling the entire world his stepmother is a dangerous villain who traded his well-being for good press coverage. That interview exists forever. Those words cannot be unsaid. That testimony cannot be erased. Number 12. Prince Harry wrote it in a book, Permanent Forever. The interview was damaging. The book made it permanent. Spare. 1.43 million copies sold on day one. Guinness World Record, the fastest-selling nonfiction book in history. Everything Harry said about Camilla is now in print, in all languages, in libraries worldwide, for all future generations to read. He wrote that she leaked stories about him, that she traded negative coverage of Diana's sons for positive coverage of herself, that his father chose her over his own children. Camilla has lawyers, PR teams, palace resources. None of it can make Harry's book disappear. His testimony is permanent, forever. 12 snubs, Harry's words on the record forever. But remember, there's still one thing Camilla can never have, no matter how many crowns she wears. We're almost there. First, the rest of Diana's inner circle. Number 13, Paul Burrell. Diana despised her, Diana's butler, the man who served her from 1987 until her death, the man she called my rock, the man who saw everything behind closed doors. Paul Burrell has said it directly. Diana despised Camilla Parker Bowles, the other woman. Despised. That's Diana's own word. That's how she actually felt. That's what she told the man who brought her tea and watched her cry. He's spoken the truth when silence would have been easier, when staying quiet would have been safer. He chose Diana's memory over palace approval. Number 14, Earl Spencer. The Funeral Promise. Diana's brother, Charles Spencer. He stood at her funeral and made a vow that echoed through Westminster Abbey while the whole world listened. A promise that 2 billion people heard.
I pledge that we, your blood family, will do all we can to continue the imaginative and loving way in which you are steering these 2 exceptional young men, so that their souls are not simply immersed by duty and tradition, but can sing openly as you planned.
Read that again. Your blood family, not the royals, the Spencers. He was drawing a line, making a distinction, protecting William and Harry from the institution that failed their mother, the same institution that now has Camilla at its center. Earl Spencer has not publicly embraced Camilla, has not welcomed her into any family fold, has not pretended that what happened was acceptable. Blood family. He meant those words. He still means them today. Number 15, Rosa Monckton, Diana's best friend. Rosa Monckton was Diana's best friend. They were on holiday together just days before Diana died. Rosa was there in those final happy moments. She hasn't acknowledged Camilla publicly, not once, not in any interview, not at any event. Rosa has spent nearly 30 years keeping Diana's memory alive, refusing to let the world forget who Diana really was. Her silence about Camilla speaks volumes. Number 16, Andrew Morton, The Truth in Print Forever. Andrew Morton wrote Diana, her true story, the book that changed everything, the book Diana secretly cooperated with, the book that told the world what was really happening inside that marriage. Morton wrote the truth in 1992. The truth hasn't changed. His book included Diana's own words, her own testimony, her own account of what Camilla and Charles did to her. That book sits in libraries around the world today. Students study it. Writers reference it. The truth Diana wanted told will never be untold. Category 4. The final snubs that can never be erased. 3 snubs left, and one of them is the answer I promised you at the very beginning. The one thing Camilla can never have, no matter how long she lives. Number 17. All 6 Australian state premiers. Complete boycott. Not 1, not 2. All 6 Australian state premiers refused to attend the parliamentary reception for King Charles and Queen Camilla. A complete boycott. A unified rejection. 6 leaders of 6 states, all finding reasons to be somewhere else. Queensland Premier, busy with election campaign. Western Australia Premier, other commitments. South Australia, New South Wales, Tasmania, Victoria, all declined. Each state leader in Australia found something more important to do than meet the King and Queen. The Australian Monarchist League called it a monumental insult, saying the Premier's spit in his hand extended in friendship. A monumental insult. Their words. Number 18. Diana's Panorama interview. 9 words that echo forever. November 20th, 1995. 23 million people in the UK tuned in. 200 million worldwide. The biggest interview in British television history. The moment that changed everything, Diana sat across from Martin Bashir. She looked into the camera, and she said 9 words that Camilla can never escape.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
3 of us. She named it. She confirmed it. She told the world what everyone suspected but nobody could prove. She gave the truth a voice. That sentence defined Camilla forever. Before that interview, people whispered. After it, they knew. Diana had spoken. The truth was on the record. The world had heard it directly from the woman who lived it. That footage exists. It plays each year on the anniversary of her death. Documentaries include it. Young people who weren't even born when Diana died discover it on social media and share it with their friends. Camilla has spent 30 years trying to escape those 9 words. PR campaigns, rehabilitation strategies, media manipulation, none of it works, because Diana spoke, and Diana's words are eternal. Number 19. The title she'll never have. Here it is. The snub I promised at the beginning. The one thing Camilla can never have, no matter how long she lives, no matter how many PR campaigns she runs, no matter how many years pass. Camilla has the crown. She has the palace. She has the title, Queen. She has the jewels and the gowns and the carriages and the staff. She has everything money and position can provide. Everything that protocol demanded be given to her. But Diana had something better. Something Camilla will never have. Something that cannot be purchased or manufactured or given by any king. Something that only comes from the hearts of ordinary people who choose to give it freely. They called Diana the Queen of Hearts. Not because of a crown, not because of a title, not because of any official ceremony, because the people loved her, because she earned it through genuine warmth, because she was real and compassionate in ways the palace couldn't control and couldn't manufacture. The Queen of Hearts, given spontaneously by millions of ordinary people around the world, earned through hospital visits where she held dying patients when everyone else was afraid to touch them, earned through landmine fields where she walked alone while the world watched in awe, earned through hugs she gave to children who needed one, earned through genuine kindness that couldn't be faked. Camilla has a crown made of gold and jewels. It was placed on her head in a ceremony. It can be removed. Diana has a crown made of love. It was placed on her head by the world. It can never be taken away. Not by time, not by death, not by anyone. Number 20, the snub that never ends. That's the snub that cannot end. That's the rejection Camilla wakes up to each single morning. That's the verdict that follows her everywhere she goes. She has the title, but Diana has the love. And love is the only crown that matters, forever, until the end of time. 20 celebrities who refuse to meet, perform for, or accept honors from Queen Camilla. From Taylor Swift to Elton John to an Australian senator who screamed genocide in Parliament, Diana is still winning. 30 years after her death. But there's one person whose silence speaks louder than all 20 snubs combined, and his decision will define Camilla's future. Click here to discover why Prince William will never forgive Camilla. The truth finally exposed.